Google owed me $50 at least. That's how I saw it. They had given me $50 worth of Google Rewards points as part of a promotion for buying a smartwatch. Then, without warning, those points expired. No email, no notification, no helpful reminder. Just gone. Google refused to give them back. So I stopped using Google Rewards. Then something strange happened. For more than 10 months, Google started paying me 20% almost every day for one extremely ordinary activity, going to the bathroom, and eventually, those tiny payments added up to exactly what I had lost. If you've ever had a company take something from you and hide behind a policy, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and stay with me. Because sometimes revenge doesn't require anger, confrontation, or even a master plan. Sometimes all you need is patience and a very predictable daily routine. This happened a long time ago, and at first, it didn't feel like revenge at all. It started with something that seemed almost too good to be true. I had bought a smartwatch as part of a promotional offer, and Google rewarded me with $50 worth of Google Rewards points. $50, not cash, exactly. But still, $50 I could spend through the Google Play Store, and I already knew what I wanted to do with it. Books. There is something particularly satisfying about getting free credit and spending it on something you've wanted for a while. I imagine browsing through the Play Store, finding a few books, clicking purchase, and knowing that I had essentially gotten them for nothing. So I let the points sit there. I wasn't worried. After all, these were rewards points. I assumed they'd work like the regular rewards points I had accumulated before. That assumption turned out to be expensive. Eventually, I opened the Play Store, ready to spend them, and then I looked at my balance. Nothing. My $50 was gone. Not reduced, not partially expired. Gone. I stared at the screen for a moment, trying to figure out what I'd missed. Maybe there was a glitch. Maybe the balance hadn't loaded. Maybe I was looking at the wrong account. But no, the promotional points had expired, and apparently, these particular points had a much shorter expiration period than normal rewards points. The part that really bothered me wasn't simply losing the $50. It was that I hadn't been warned. No email, no notification, no message saying, hey, your promotional points are about to expire. Nothing. I only discovered the expiration after it had already happened. So naturally, I contacted Google. I explained what happened. I wasn't asking them for something outrageous. I wasn't trying to exploit the system. I had earned the promotional points through a legitimate purchase, and I had contacted them only a few days after the expiration. Surely, I thought, someone would look at the situation and say, okay, this was clearly an honest mistake. We'll restore the points. Nope. My appeals fell on deaf ears. Policy was policy. The points had expired. End of story. There was no dramatic argument. No angry customer service showdown. Just a frustrating wall of corporate indifference. And that was somehow worse, because when a company makes a mistake, you can at least understand the situation. But when you feel like the person on the other side doesn't care, that's different. I remember thinking, fine, if this is how Google wants to handle its rewards program, I'm done with it. I vowed never to use the rewards app again. I even canceled my Google One account. I moved on, or at least, I thought I did. Then Google Rewards started sending me surveys. At first, I didn't think much of them. Surveys weren't unusual. Google Rewards would occasionally ask questions about places you'd visited or things you'd done. But then the surveys became strangely specific. There was a particular store located in the same building where I worked, and here's where the story gets ridiculous. That store happened to be next to the bathroom. The bathroom I used every workday, every day. I'd walk into the store's edge to reach the bathroom. I wasn't shopping. I wasn't browsing. I wasn't comparing products. I was simply passing through, because that's where the bathroom was. Then one day, Google sent me a survey asking whether I had entered that store. I looked at the question. Technically, yes, I had entered. Had I purchased anything? No. So I answered honestly, entered, but did not make a purchase. And Google gave me about 20%. I thought nothing of it. Then it happened again. The next day, same store, same question, same answer, another 20%. Then again, and again. Pretty soon, I realized I was getting this survey almost every day, and because my daily routine hadn't changed, my answer didn't change either. Yes, I entered the store.no. I didn't buy anything, and every time I completed the survey, Google Rewards deposited another small amount into my account, 24 cents. It sounds almost laughable. 24 cents isn't exactly the kind of money that changes your life, but then I remembered that $50 Google had given me, the $50 Google had taken away, the $50 they refused to restore, even though I had contacted them only days after the expiration, and suddenly, those 20% surveys felt a little different. I hadn't planned this. I wasn't manipulating anything. I wasn't lying. Google asked me whether I entered the store. I did. Google asked whether I purchased anything. I didn't. I was simply answering the questions they sent me, and Google kept paying me for those answers. Every single day. At some point, I started doing the math. 24 cents doesn't sound like much, but multiply it by a few days, then a few weeks, then a few months. Those pennies and nickels and quarters start stacking up, and that's when the absurdity of the whole situation really hit me. Google had effectively told me, "Your $50 promotional reward expired. Sorry." But their own system was simultaneously handing me approximately 24 cents every day. Because I walked through a store on the way to the bathroom. It was the slowest possible revenge. There was no dramatic confrontation. No angry email. No lawsuit. No revenge scheme. Just me walking to the bathroom and Google paying me. Eventually, the daily survey became part of my routine. I'd get up from my desk, walk toward the bathroom, pass through the edge of the store. Do what I needed to do, come back, and somewhere along the way, I'd get another survey asking essentially the same question. Did you enter? Yes. Did you buy anything? No. 24 cents. Thank you very much. There was something almost poetic about it. The company that had frustrated me so badly had unknowingly created the mechanism that would eventually make me whole again. And the funniest part, they could have stopped it at any time. The system could have decided that my repeated visits weren't worth surveying. It could have stopped asking me, but it didn't. Day after day, the surveys kept arriving, and I kept answering honestly. 10 months passed, then more, and slowly, almost invisibly, that missing $50 returned. Not all at once, not in some dramatic refund, not because Google admitted they had handled my original situation badly. It came back 24 cents at a time. Eventually, I checked the total, and there it was. I'd earned back my 50, the same $50 I had once lost, the same $50 I had complained about, the same $50 I had been told was gone forever, except now it was sitting in my Google Rewards balance again, and this time, there was no expiration problem hanging over my head. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Books, hard-earned books. I opened the Play Store and started browsing, and I have to admit, there was a ridiculous amount of satisfaction in that moment, because technically, Google had won the first round. They had kept their expired promotional points. They had followed their policy. They had closed my appeal. But in the end, their own rewards system slowly returned every cent to me. Not because they wanted to, not because someone changed their mind, and certainly not because I begged. I simply took the opportunity. They kept handing me 24 cents at a time. The whole thing taught me something about revenge. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting someone. Sometimes it's just about refusing to let an unfair situation have the final word. I didn't cheat Google. I didn't fabricate visits. I didn't lie about purchases. I simply answered their questions truthfully. They offered the rewards. I accepted them, and after more than 10 months, I had my $50 back. The best part wasn't even the money. It was opening those books and knowing exactly how I had paid for them. One bathroom trip at a time. So here's to the smallest revenge imaginable. No screaming. No confrontation. No elaborate plan. Just a person walking to the bathroom every day and unknowingly turning 24 cents into 50. And if there's a lesson here, maybe it's this. When someone tells you that something is gone forever, Don't waste your energy obsessing over it. Sometimes life has a strange way of circling back, and sometimes the company that took your money ends up giving it back to you, one tiny payment at a time. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe for more satisfying Reddit revenge stories, and tell me in the comments, what's the smallest amount of money you've ever gotten back in the most satisfying way possible? Because sometimes, the sweetest revenge is simply getting exactly what you were owed.